Hello and welcome. I'm Julie Selby with Sandy Social Marketing Training, and this is a special holiday edition of the Wonderful Women Business Networking Show. So rather than doing interviews today, we are going to have a little bit of holiday fun. And my wonderful co-host, Deb Alcadinho, should be joining us any moment now. And while I'm waiting for her to join, I thought I might start by sharing with you some of my favorite holiday music. Now, of course, I can't play this holiday music because it's commercial music and we're broadcasting live and you have to use music that you have the legal right to use. But I would say Sarah McLachlan is my very favorite holiday album. So if you have not heard the Sarah McLachlan Christmas album, I highly recommend it. When I was a child, my mother's favorite holiday album was the Elvis Christmas album. So I had to listen to that for many, many years. Even to this day, she still plays it for us. So that's fun. I'd love to hear from you. What are some of your favorite holiday music or holiday traditions? We'll be talking about that a little bit today. What are your favorite holiday foods or drinks? What's your favorite holiday music? Do you have any special holiday traditions that you do every year? I know my wonderful co-host Deb, her husband has some Portuguese heritage, and they have these beautiful little miniature, kind of like miniature village that they do. So he sets up this beautiful miniature village, and yes, hopefully my co-host will be here any moment. Okay. I wonder where Deb is. Surprise! We thought we'd surprise you by we're having an actual in-person visit, which we don't do too often anymore these days. But we're so thrilled to. Oh my gosh, it's so nice to see you, Deb. I don't get out much, so it's so nice to be able to actually have an in-person visit. We thought we'd have a little music to celebrate. And you know what? We need a little help. I wonder if there are any reindeer around.
I wonder.
And you said we couldn't get you to dance, Deb. Happy holidays, everybody. Oh, and you know what? We could use some more friends. Let's bring another friend on screen. Welcome,
Happy holidays, everybody.
Oh my goodness, I'm going to turn the music down. So much fun.
Who are our two reindeers? Introduce the two reindeers.
I'm Julie Selby with Sandy Social Marketing Training, and please introduce yourself, my wonderful co-host.
And I'm Deb Alcadinho, Business for Social Good.
And we have some wonderful recurring guests as well. These two lovely ladies behind me have been generous and kind enough to be my co-hosts several times over this past year. So I'm super grateful for them, and such a treat to get to see them in person. Yay! You feel the love?
Thanks for you, Bonnie.
And so nice to see you, Bonnie. So I'm going to have Deborah introduce herself.
Deborah Marcia Rubin, breath and
Yay! And Susan?
Susan Isaac, design, use glass jewelry, and glass images on the fabric.
And welcome, Bonnie. I did warn Bonnie we were doing a holiday festive show today, so it's not our usual show. Bonnie, please welcome and introduce yourself.
Hi, everybody. Bonnie Chomica, and I'm the content creation mentor, getting you lots of exposure so you can showcase your expertise.
Wonderful. We're thrilled to have you here with us today, Bonnie.
Welcome to our little impromptu Christmas show.
Yay! And so at the top of the show, I shared some of my favorite holiday music as well as the Elvis holiday music that I was tortured with as a child every single year. And how about you ladies? What kind of holiday music, or let's start with holiday music. Let's just speed around. Deb, favorite holiday music?
The classics. Jingle bells, just yeah.
Just the classics.
Yes, okay, very good. No Mariah Carey or Michael Bublé or anything like that?
I like Michael Bublé. I can't stand Mariah Carey.
Oh, don't let her hear this.
Yeah.
I think her ego can take it.
Yeah,
Please,
yeah, yeah.
Deborah.
Do you know that Jackie Gleason's had a band, a big band?
Really?
Years ago, and his music was exquisite.
Oh my goodness.
Gleason.
Wow. And he does some holiday music?
I think so.
Oh, very cool. Well, we'll have to look it
Yeah.
up. There's all kind of stuff on YouTube. I wonder if we can find Jackie Gleason
Mhm.
holiday music on YouTube. And Susan, how about you? I'll try and hold my head still so you guys can go.
The Peanuts Christmas music from that Peanuts cartoon. And
Fun.
similar situation as Julie. I torture my husband every Christmas with that particular album. He prefers, as I will have him come over and visit Deb because he really likes the classics like Deb does.
And how about you, Bonnie?
Oh, there's so many. I like all the new stuff, the rockin' stuff. But I have to go back to the classics of like Bing Crosby and Dean Martin and Doris Day. I love that era and their beautiful voices.
Me too.
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And what about any kind of special foods? Do we have any favorites? I actually like fruitcake. It's kind of embarrassing to share that.
I love
It's like,
fruitcake.
really? You love fruitcake?
Oh,
too?
I don't
Oh
like
my
it
gosh.
either.
No,
Most people,
love it.
most people.
Good fruitcake. Good thing I didn't make the fruitcake.
And what about you, ladies?
Oh, I
what
put rum in mine.
what kind of holiday foods do you like?
Matzo balls.
What?
Yeah, that's right. Exactly.
What did you say?
Matzo balls.
Matzo balls. Oh,
balls.
interesting. Okay.
Now, do you want to explain that?
Their balls with matzah. You take the matzah and you crunch it all up, and you put egg and stuff in it, and you make little balls. You put it in your chicken soup. Ooh, matzah.
Stuffed
Oh, matzah? Matzah is like a very thin cracker that is so delicious. Leavened bread, because for 40 days on the desert, they didn't have any yeast, and so they made matzah. Leavened, yeah, unleavened bread. Very cool.
You know what? I'm gonna have to.
Tradition.
I'm gonna have to try
Yes.
matzo balls. I have never heard of them, and it sounds delicious. And Deb or Susan?
Go ahead.
Hard shortbread cookies. My mother used
Ooh.
to make, she had these they don't even have them anymore, metal cookie cutters, Santa
still
Claus,
have them.
reindeer,
Yeah.
angels.
Yeah.
And even
Fun.
though I couldn't verbalize it at 6 years of age, I was assessing the surface area, and I wanted that Santa Claus because it was the biggest. And we each did get a Santa Claus. My mother was a very egalitarian, and to this day, she is long passed. I have the metal cookie cutters, and I put them in the student bins in case anyone wants to do an angel or a bell, Christmas ornament during a glass workshop. So I think of her every time someone is tracing an angel to make something in my workshop.
Oh,
Anyway,
that's lovely.
They were
That's
very,
adorable.
very delicious, and the Santa Clauses were the best.
So delicious.
Maximum cookie surface area.
Metal cookie cutters to do shortbread
Oh
too.
my God.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
My favorite is probably my mom's Christmas pudding, which was my granny's Christmas pudding recipe.
Wow.
And so traditionally served after Christmas dinner. And there's no rum or anything like that in it, but it's
Darn.
I know,
You
right?
can always add,
You know that,
rum
yeah,
or
yeah.
Baileys to anything. Really.
But it's carrot. It's a carrot pudding, and it is absolutely delicious.
Carrot
Yeah.
pudding.
Light it on fire?
You don't light it on fire,
No.
but then you make a brown sugar caramel, probably rum,
yeah.
maybe back in the day,
Yeah.
sauce, and it goes over the over the carrot pudding. So
That
Yeah,
sounds
I was
delicious.
lucky. I've had Jewish dad and a Christian mother, so I got to celebrate too.
Oh, yeah, lovely,
Yeah.
lovely. What about you,
Wonderful.
Bonnie?
Yeah.
Well, my husband has been making his famous nuts and bolts recipe. With, cereal and pretzels and nuts, and he makes about 30 pounds of it. So we've been eating it for weeks, but it's such a great present to give away wherever we go. People
It
get
can still be shipped, you know. Canada Post deadline's not here yet.
Who else on the island, Bonnie?
Well, maybe I'll deliver it. They're so good. Oh my God.
So tell us about what's going on for you, Bonnie. Did you have anything in particular you wanted to do a shout out for today?
Oh, well, it's just fun hanging out with you ladies.
Totally.
Extra fun today.
What are you up to for the holiday season? Are you just staying close to home, or?
Yes, we are hosting a Christmas dinner. So it's going to take me from now until then to, clean the house and the yard and get ready for that. But yeah, we have, my husband has cousins here, but they're going to be elsewhere. So that's why we're hosting. And whenever we host, we always have Christmas orphans, people who are on their own at Christmas. So we have a couple down the street coming over and a girlfriend of mine. So just a house full of more food.
Yay. Fun. Well, you know what? I am so jealous of you. You've got a husband that grows food and cooks food, and you all make these. My mouth is always watering when I see your posts on Facebook of all your beautiful things that you guys make and eat. So
yeah, it's pretty special.
Lucky lady.
I am very much.
Indeed. And will you pass me my phone real quick?
Yes.
I was sharing last week about this new artificial intelligence chatbot tool called ChatGPT.
Yeah.
And I was talking about how marketers should start kind of looking at these tools, playing with these tools, because this artificial intelligence expert that I follow had said something that really caught my attention, which is that because I'm not someone that believes that artificial intelligence will necessarily replace humans, though, it may replace some jobs ultimately long term, but that it is a creative, collaborative partner for us humans. At least the current tools that are, coming out in the kind of the last 6 months, and this new tool in the last, 2 weeks that's come out. However, the quote he said was, marketers who use these artificial intelligence tools will replace marketers who don't. So I just thought, wow, very interesting. So I was encouraging folks last week to start playing with some of these tools. And one of the tools is that I mentioned was created by this organization called OpenAI, which is an organization that wants to influence the use of AI for good and not for evil. And I forgot last week to put the link in the show caption. And Bonnie said, "Hey, could I get that link?" So I wanted to. I did a little prompt, and I wanted to share it with you. I typed in a prompt because supposedly ChatGPT is good with writing poems. So I put write a poem about women business owners to the tune of Jingle Bells. And I'm not going to torture you by singing it. Don't you worry. I'm not much of a singer. I can do a pretty decent backup though. I can do like a little backup harmony, but I'm definitely not the lead singer.
Do what, baby?
Yeah, you got your backup singers. Sure.
But I just punched this prompt in. Write a poem about women business owners to the tune of Jingle Bells. I want to read it to you. Jingle bells, women business owners all the way. Success and profits are their goal. On the road to success, they pave their way. You can see how we still need a human in the mix to fix the copy. With determination and hard work, they rise to the top of the corporate ladder, breaking through the glass ceiling. Their ambition knows no boundaries or borders. Again, we're a little bit lacking on the rhyme here. They inspire and empower other women to follow in their footsteps, breaking through barriers and stereotypes. They are the leaders and game changers of the future. Wow. Again, some rhyme lacking, but I'm like, this isn't bad.
It's pretty amazing.
And the last paragraph here, jingle bells, women business owners all the way. Here's to their success and triumph on this joyous holiday season and every day.
Wow. That was better.
Yeah. Not bad for one prompt, right? So yeah, again, you can see how it would take the human to maybe massage that copy a little bit, but I thought that was kind of a fun example. So
pretty impressive that AI is progressing so quickly, and That's early days. So
Mhm.
give it a year, and we'll have a completely different conversation next Christmas, right?
And Julie, can I mention how I've used it?
Yes, please.
My web developer, we just launched a new website for me with 168 items because of all the fabrics that have glass images on them. And every piece has a story. And my web developer uses the AI. And so we took some of my pendants that needed stories and we used the AI as a framework. And it just gave me a slightly different slant. I still had to write all the stories, but I had a little bit of help with the AI, and it just brought up certain points that I hadn't considered.
Wow.
So it did help me with my writing. So I found it invaluable in creating the website and the stories and descriptions.
Wow, fascinating.
Yay! Oh my gosh.
Right. Wow.
God, boy, that's sure something we struggle with as business owners, writing copy for our website. So
You're a forerunner.
gosh, I didn't even think about it for that. But yeah, gosh, it has so many uses. And I would say some of the image tools have a ways to go yet. Especially the ones that are built into other tools, like, for example, Canva graphic design has a new beta text to AI feature. And the writing tool that I've used in the past is called Write Sonic, with the W, Write Sonic. And that they've added now a text to image feature, which is, again, especially around the human faces and stuff, it's like, yeah, it has a ways to go. But I know there are some other text to image tools that are actually quite good with, human faces and various things. And yeah, we're starting to see, even just the latest trend in the last week there was a tool called, I think, Lensa, where people were creating AI avatars. They were basically uploading a number of photos of themselves, and then it was popping out all these like cool looking avatars. You might have seen that on your social media feed. Again, privacy issues is another thing. I would always maybe read the terms and conditions on things like that. But yeah, it's really fascinating how that will evolve in the future. So anyway.
My gosh, I'll say. Wow.
Anyway.
Make it a lot easier once we understand how to use it.
Yeah.
Yes,
exactly.
indeed.
Yeah.
And I think there's money to be considered and creativity to be considered. Maybe hiring some comedians who understand the incongruence of the human condition, which is how they create their humor. And it's very clever. And if they incorporate that, and the business story was great, but we need to add a comedian to that mix and just put in the incongruence of human into that flavor, which kind of is the spice of writing, really.
And I think even just the skill of figuring out what text prompt to put in there is going to be a whole thing. People like yourself, Bonnie, that are writers, that can be something you can even offer, maybe, as like, you looking for text prompts for creating some content. So yeah,
I think too, AI has been around for a long time, but now these tools have become much more sophisticated, even though many of them are in beta. But that technology is going to go up really fast. So it's time to embrace something new to learn, because it's going to be in your face soon enough, Yeah,
100%. Yeah. And every time I'm on some social media platform or another, Jarvis always comes up, ads for Jarvis. So, it's there. Yeah, it's crazy.
Anyway, back to holiday fun. Bonnie, tell us about more about do you have any special holiday traditions from your childhood or things that you do now? Any ways you decorate, or special foods you like, or music you like?
Well, I think about my childhood. We had a huge family. My mom was the oldest of 13.
Oh my gosh.
So everybody had kids.
Wow.
So it was a big gathering. Wow. And then as the years went on, it got smaller because everyone couldn't fit in one house. But we would go to my aunt's out on the farm, and there would be about 20 of us around one big table. And on Christmas Eve, my mom's family was Norwegian, so we celebrated Christmas Eve, and they had this really disgusting fish dish called lutefisk. And it was essentially codfish that was cured in lye, and then you boil it, and then you serve it with melted butter and salt and pepper. And I'm sure that's the only reason people ate it, was for the butter and the salt and pepper. It was gross. But lots of people liked it for whatever reason anyway, but there was still a turkey. So the fish eaters would sit at one end and the turkey eaters at one. And then if you ate both, you sat in the middle. So, and the house stunk from the fish, and it's just, it's a very vivid memory.
How joyful to get to have such a big family and get to be, celebrating all together. How neat is that?
Yeah, it was very cool. I had tons of cousins growing up, so it was a really big, happy family. And most of them lived out in the farm. So, it was a road trip every weekend. Yeah, it was great fun.
Very cool. You made me think of, I have some Swedish background in my family, and there's a dish called polt. It's kind of like a potato dumpling that my grandma would make. And then my aunts made it, and my cousins now. And my aunt, bless her heart, has taught me how to make it. And she even bought me a giant, deep pot to make it. But I'm terrible. I don't cook. So like every time I even think of making it, I'm like, yeah, it takes like 4 hours to make. So I'm terrible. But it's like, I think it's an acquired taste, right? Because it's basically flour, potato, bacon, butter, salt. It's right. It's a potato dumpling, right? It was kind of like what you had on the farm.
Yes.
Yeah. Because my grandparents, my grandfather had an accent. My grandmother didn't, but my grandfather called me Juhli. So they were that generation. They they didn't have a lot, and you used the ingredients you had on the farm. So that's the polt. And then even like you fry it up again in even more butter afterwards, right? The leftovers. So
bacon fat, probably. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly right. So it's just, and I just love it. And most of the people in our family just love it. But it's kind of like you if there's like a boyfriend or a girlfriend, someone new to the family who tries it, they're like, So
the recipe doesn't sound so good.
Right.
Does it taste good?
Right.
Does it taste good?
Oh, it's delicious.
Oh, okay.
It's basically
butter,
it's like
bacon.
it's a carb fat bomb. Basically. Yeah, super comfortable food. But anyway, it's even like the smells and the taste, and like brings you back to the family, special family times.
Yeah, and I had a similar situation. My mom's sister, had a big house. They never had children, so their house was always very lovely, and she would always host. And so all her brothers and sisters and their children, us, went, and it was the same, like a big table and all like kids and people and food and I have very, very fond memories of that, and I've kind of kept that tradition going in our family. We always host, and everyone comes to us.
Oh, that's lovely.
Yeah.
What nice.
Yeah. What about you guys?
I think one of my mother kept Christmas well, and I think I tried to keep Christmas well, not quite in the way she did, but that joie de vivre and the excitement and the passion about bringing people together and celebrating and noteworthy, basically gifts from the heart, like really trying to figure out what would please another person in terms of what gift you would give. And it might just be a jar of jam or something, but it would be that person's favorite jam, that sort of thing.
It's with thought.
It's a gift with a season of love and giving. And my mother passed that on to me, and we used to have Christmas stockings on our door in the morning, and we would open, and it had little games and coloring books, and I always loved getting my new 6 crayons, because that's what would fit in the stocking. And there's always an orange at the end of the stocking. Who cares about the orange when you're 6 years old? Like, where's my Santa cookie? But we just loved the activities, and my parents were quite clever, because we played with our toys in our stocking, and we weren't allowed to go into the Christmas room for the unwrapping of gifts until they had coffee and woken up. So it gave them maybe an extra hour of sleep, because when you're excited at 6 years of age, you're up at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock. We weren't allowed to wake them up till 7. So that was one of our traditions that helped them, but we really loved it too.
Yeah.
And you have your lavender cookies, right? Is that a holiday thing or no?
No, that was me not leaving home and not knowing how to cook. Although my mother was an amazing cook, I wanted to wash the car and take the leaves out of the gutter with my father instead. And my two sisters learned to cook. So I enrolled in the Bonnie Stern School of Cooking in order to be able to do anything that came with cooking. And this is when Bonnie Stern started in Toronto in the 70s. I just took 3 courses and I learned how to cook. And one of the recipes that she taught us was her shortbread cookies. And I remember her guidelines. You need salted butter and you need to use berry sugar in certain ingredients, and the balance has to be just right in shortbread cookies. And she said, if you're not willing to make them with the ingredients that I have suggested,
Don't make them.
please don't make them, and certainly don't associate my name with it. And I have kept it pure. I add organic lemon zest and edible lavender, and so I embellish her wonderful basic recipe that I learned so many years ago as I was learning how to. I'm a foodie, so I was very motivated to learn how to cook.
And I must say, I was way too excited when she mentioned she was going to bring her lavender cookies today.
Put on the counter. So in my family we were in Saskatchewan, and so a very small house. And what would happen is the kids would be upstairs, and then Dad would say, "Don't come downstairs," and he would go down, and we'd be just chomping at the bit to come in. We'd stand in line, Charmian first, Linda second, Debbie last. Okay, so then Debbie, by the way, and then he'd say, "Okay," he'd turn the lights on, and then we'd all go down singing carols, and then come to the Christmas tree and open gifts, and it was always a special moment.
Sounds lovely.
It was always turkey. I mean, I love such fond memories of lots of mashed potatoes and gravy.
Oh my gosh, you're making me hungry.
Just the traditional, and I'm not sick of it. I love it, and apple pie. Mom's apple pie was always delicious.
Wow.
Delicious.
Well, with our holiday fun episode, we wanted to say thank you to all of you who have been guests on the show over the past year. We've had great fun doing the show. Thank you to our thank you, Deb. Thank you to our co-hosts, our many co-hosts that have helped fill in over the past year. Thank you to all of you who are watching. I want to do a quick shout out to Heidi Smith, who is watching, and she says kindly, "You all look adorable." Thank you, Heidi. Much love to you. And we just feel so grateful to be able to stay in touch with you in this way with the live video. We look forward to the new year. If you have not been on the show yet, or even if you have been on the show and you want to come back and give us an update or teach us something, we welcome future guests for the show. We are going to take a little break from the show for the last couple of weeks, so we won't be airing the show for the last couple of weeks of the new year. So this is our final show of 2022. But we just wanted to say how much we appreciate you, the audience, all of our guests, all of our guest co-hosts, and Deb, I appreciate you as my wonderful co-host. I feel just so grateful to know you ladies and to have you in my world. And I just feel so much love, much love for you all. And so we toast the close of 2022 and for all good things, happiness and success in 2023. Cheers, Bonnie.
Cheers, everyone. Cheers. 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 Cheers.
Thank you.
Bye.
And with that,
and thank you everyone for all our contributions this year, and Julie and Deb being brave enough to go live, and they have become so polished, and everyone that's come on the show has given wonderful information, and I've met so many people and learned so much about other businesses. I thank everyone for educating me and helping me to feel like I'm part of a bigger community.
And well done, ladies.
Having the courage to come on and do it live.
Yes.
good practice.
Without antlers. Very brave.
Next time.
Your silly hats are always welcome on the show, just for future reference.
Oh, that's gonna up the ante.
Yeah,
You should never have said that, Julie.
Merry Christmas, Bonnie. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, ladies.
Holidays. Let's
Happy holidays.
we will. Oh,
See you soon.
absolutely. I'm going to go ahead and just put a little music on here, and we will dance our way out of our final 30 seconds of the show here. Oh, if I can get the music to play. Try that again.
Merry Christmas, everyone.
Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. Hey, Bonnie, on the roll.